1939, Soviet bombers bomb Helsinki. Part of the city is on fire, and at the same time, Soviet troops advance on the Finnish border. Many thought that Finland would be annexed by the Soviet Union, but that didn't happen. So why did the Soviet Union never annex Finland? Finland was part of the Russian Empire, and in 1917, with the Russian Civil War, the Finns took advantage and declared independence. But the situation in Finland was not very good either, with them also having to fight a civil war. Between the communists and the whites who were not communists, the end result of the war was that the whites won. But there was still great distrust and doubts about what the borders between the USSR and Finland were, so they created the Treaty of Tartu that defined the borders between the countries. Everything was going very well until 1939, when Joseph Stalin and Hitler made the Non-Aggression Pact, which would mean that the Soviets would not have to worry about a German invasion and could send their soldiers to other places. So Stalin, who always had the dream of expanding its territory, sent an ultimatum to Finland, demanding that it cede some regions to the USSR or go to war. Finland chose war. Then the Winter War began, but what Stalin didn't expect was that the Soviet army was poorly prepared and disorganized because of the purges committed by Stalin himself, and the Finns managed to stop much of the Soviet advances. So both countries made an agreement, and although Finland had to cede these territories to the Soviet Union, it gained something, not being annexed. But less than 2 years later, Germany invaded the Soviet Union. Finland took advantage and wanted to take revenge on the Winter War, and declared war again on the Soviet Union, the Continuation War. Everything was going well for them, but when the German forces started to retreat and lose battles, Finland did the same. Then again, the Finns made a deal with Stalin to have peace. But why didn't Stalin refuse and continue to invade and annex all of Finland? Simple answer: he would need a lot of soldiers and resources to defeat Germany. And having to divide his army and resources to invade Finland would hinder Germany's defeat. And Stalin knew that if he annexed Finland, Sweden, that was neutral, would become much more hostile towards the USSR. With the end of the Second World War, the Cold War began, and Stalin wanted to prevent the United States and its allies from having influence in countries bordering the Soviet Union. So in addition to creating the Iron Curtain, with the territories reconquered from Germany in 1948, the Finns and the Soviets made a treaty in which Finland should be totally neutral and not enter into any military alliance and not let foreign troops pass through its territory. And in exchange, the USSR would guarantee Finland's free independence. So Finland became an officially neutral country from that day on.